And welcome back to the channel. On this video I'm going to be riding, as I almost always do, the Lyric Graffiti X, as you see it right there. So let me hop aboard and then tell you what we're going to be talking about in this video. So it's kind of the big thing that's happening right now in the bike world and in other parts of the it's not just e-bike world, but other products too are getting hit, and that's with tariffs. And so today I wanted to talk about the latest situation. Now every day it seems to be changing and new ones implemented, and the latest now for today is that we've got, now I'm focused in on China because that's a big one for e-bikes and where the e-bike parts are coming from, or in some cases assembly and all. And with a new 104% tariff, that's going to make it tough for everyone, for consumers, for e-bike companies and all. And I don't know if it's going to end there, if it's going to keep going even higher, and I don't know how much more higher we can go without some companies starting to go under. And I think that's going to happen here sooner than later, because there's no way that the companies are going to absorb all this 104%. So, geez, even if they take half of it, let's get by this intersection, we'll talk some more. So even if they absorb half of it and you had to pay 50%, can you imagine an e-bike that now is $2,000 and it's probably at the top end of a lot of people's budgets, if it's even that high? That pushes it to $3,000? I don't know. I think that's going to be a problem, because I think I've asked many people this question who want to buy an e-bike and don't have one, or even if they do have one already, what's your ceiling? Where will you go maximum as far as how much you're willing to pay? And oftentimes it's in that some people will only pay $1,000 and some people will go up to $2,000. You get some that will go higher, but it drops off a lot. I mean, you may have 80% of the people, I would say, if I was doing a guess, that cut it off at $2,000. So that leaves 20% willing to pay that extra $1,000 higher, but it's not going to be for the bike they're expecting to get for that much money, you know? Because now the $2,000 bike becomes the $3,000 bike, and the $3,000 bike now becomes $4,500. That's just using the scenario of 50% more. What if it's higher than that, you know? So it's going to be interesting to see here in the next few months. Now, if this tariff is long-term as opposed to a short situation, we're going to have real problems as far as anyone being able to afford anything, like a lot of things besides a bike. A bike, if it isn't already, is going to become a real luxury. And I mean, some people flat out have told me that that's their commute. They use their bike to get around everywhere And some people use it for their job, delivery jobs. That's going to really cut into that. Like, even if the bikes are assembled in the US, I don't know if everyone understands, but the components are still coming from China. So it's still going to have an effect. And you know, it's unfortunate because the actual situation with e-bikes, especially during COVID, they really got popular. You know, a lot more popular. And then eventually COVID kind of, you know, faded. It's never going to be gone away, but it's faded a lot compared to what it was, you know, in its peak and all that. But the e-bike situation was improving. You know, they were selling a lot more and people were getting into it, you know, like it was on a roll. I would say it was becoming more and more popular. You know, people see other people riding the bikes and they start talking to them about their e-bikes, and then they decide they want to get one, or at least try one. Once you try one, I've said this many times, you'll want to get one because they're that much fun and a joy to ride. And then when we get past the COVID though, then we get into the laws. Okay, they're going to crack down on this and they're going to crack down on that. So it started to put a damper a little bit on the e-bikes, especially the ones that go a little bit faster. And now we're to tariffs, particularly on China, because that's where we're getting the majority of the bike parts and are coming from China. So that's gonna, it's tough right now. It's unfortunate. And I would say this, and I've said it several times, is that if you have any interest at all in getting an e-bike, check the prices right now because they're still pretty much good. I haven't seen anything take off yet, but I've gotten several emails that it's coming. So a lot of these companies, once they sell what they have in stock in the US and they got to go ask for more bikes, more shipments, that's when you're going to feel it. So I've gotten emails from companies. A lot of times they're not saying how much it's going to go up, but I did have one that looks to be, now I'm going to wait for it to be official, but they did say in the email, or not an email, wasn't an email, this is what I read, that we're talking basically doubling the prices. And I just can't imagine anybody going to do that. I mean, maybe if you're very well off and have lots of disposable income, then yeah, maybe you don't care, you're just going to do it anyway. But for the majority of us, that's not going to happen. We don't have an endless bank account. So we'll see where this goes, but if you have any comments that you'd like to make on this situation with the tariffs, let me know in the comments below. And so that's going to do it for this video. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, just hit that subscribe button. If you want to be notified as to when the next video comes up on the channel, just hit that notification bell. And as I mentioned, if you want to comment on this video or any others that you've seen on the channel, go ahead and leave that in the comments below. Once again, thank you for joining me on this video. Enjoy those e-bikes out there. Be safe, everyone, and keep your wheels on the road. See you later.